managing the 4 unique risks of retirement, avoiding a lifetime penalty from Medicare, and finding the bullseye galaxy. Are you ready?
3, 2, 1, 0, 0, and liftoff. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Welcome back to Retirement Isn't Rocket Science. I'm your host, Dr. Chris Mullis, certified financial planner and former rocket scientist. If you want to spend more money in retirement while paying less in taxes, you're in the right place. And if you're excited about the freedom and opportunity to finally live life on your own terms, you're in the right place. My mission is simple: to cut through all the confusing jargon and empower you with the proven strategies and mindset you need to worry less and retire more. In today's show, we examine the 4 unique risks that retirees face. We answer your questions about Medicare, and we take a close look at 2 worlds colliding with the beautiful bullseye galaxy. Now let's dive in.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a successful ascent up through main engine cutoff.
Welcome to the Retirement Briefing Room. This is where we huddle up to take a close look at retirement-related research and news articles and think about how to integrate these into your plans to make your retirement even better. We're kicking off this segment by looking at a fantastic, insightful article titled "The 4 Unique Risks in Decumulation." This piece was written by Peter Neuwirth, an actuary, author, and thought leader in the retirement risk management space, and it was published in Advisor Perspectives. The article's main focus is to highlight the stark differences between the accumulation phase, those are your saving years, and the decumulation phase, your spending years of retirement. While accumulation has been widely researched and has established strategies, Peter argues that safely spending down your assets is a fundamentally different and arguably harder problem. In my retirement planning firm, we do everything for our clients: investments, tax, insurance, estate, and income planning. By far, the most complex and most interesting is income planning. That means how to best blend all of your sources of income in retirement, maximizing your spending, maximizing your confidence, and ensuring you never run out of money. Peter specifically identifies 4 risks that are either non-existent or minimal during your working life, but become critically important the moment you retire. For our listeners, diligent savers with healthy nest eggs, understanding and mitigating these 4 unique risks is crucial for a stress-free and successful retirement. The first risk is sequence of returns. This is arguably the most famous risk of early retirement, and it's the one we talk about most often, but it bears repeating because it's so critical. The sequence of return risk isn't about the average return of your portfolio over 30 years. It's about the order, that is, the sequence in which those returns occur. If you have to start taking withdrawals to live on in the first few years of retirement and the market decides to take a major downturn, you are forced to sell shares when they are at their lowest value. Of course, we call that selling low. This drastically accelerates the depletion of your portfolio and can prematurely exhaust a nest egg that otherwise should have lasted. There are 2 broad ways to deal with sequence of return risk. First, through income planning, that is creating a protected cash flow source for your early retirement years. This could mean having a few years of living expenses set aside in cash or high-quality bonds that aren't tied to the stock market's volatility. That way, if the market drops, you can draw from that war chest and let your main investment portfolio recover without being forced to sell low. Second, we operate with a guardrail strategy that tells us when and how much to tap the brakes on spending if the market pullback becomes extended. The second key risk is longevity, the risk of living too long. Think about that. You're a nice, diligent saver who's generally healthy, which means you're more likely to live a long life. Peter's article points out that longevity risk, the risk of outliving your money, doesn't stay static. It actually becomes exponentially more important as you get older and healthier. The math is simple. Every birthday you hit in good health increases the statistical chance that you're going to live even longer. Here, Peter is flexing his actuarial wisdom. This is an essential piece to our financial modeling that we do for clients. When we build a plan, we're not just hoping our client lives to 85. We're stress testing it to at least 95 and sometimes beyond, depending on their personal health history. And again, our guardrail strategy naturally tracks this longevity risk, guiding us to be a little bit more prudent and cautious with our spending in the earlier phase of retirement when we still have perhaps 20 or 30 years of life to fund, but releasing those stops or guardrails out as we grow older and we have less years ahead to have to pay for. The third unique risk of retirement is taxes. When you're working, your annual tax bill is generally predictable and manageable without too much effort. But in retirement, as Peter points out, you should view your annual tax expense as a moving variable and what he calls a source of tax expense risk. Now, why does Peter say this? It's because how much you need to withdraw and where you withdraw those funds from, be it a taxable, tax-deferred, or tax-free account, drastically impacts your tax bill. Throw in the fluctuating required minimum distributions, potential changes to tax law, and the timing of Social Security benefits, and suddenly your annual tax expense could be all over the map unless you smartly incorporate tax planning in your overall retirement plan. This is where a huge amount of value is delivered by a tax-focused retirement planning specialist. They will ensure you are drawing from the most advantageous accounts each year. The article highlights an interesting idea, treating a Roth IRA conversion as an insurance premium against future high tax rates. By paying a controlled lower tax rate on a chunk of your money now, you insulate that money from whatever future tax changes Congress might enact. This proactive tax planning is a fundamental part of keeping your retirement lifestyle sustainable and preventing the risk of an unusually large portfolio withdrawal due to a surprise large tax bill. The fourth unique risk of retirement is spiking expenses. Peter argues that this is perhaps the most understudied and potentially catastrophic risk, spiking expenses in retirement. This is when a significant, unexpected event, like an extended family crisis, the fallout from a natural disaster, or a major uninsured health event, forces a sudden, massive withdrawal from your portfolio. As the article states, this is mathematically equivalent to making the sequence of return risk worse, as a large withdrawal at an inopportune time can completely derail an otherwise well-designed plan. The job of a retirement planning specialist like myself is to help you prepare for the known unknowns. While we can't predict a family emergency, we can make sure you have insurance and estate plans in place for the most common and expensive scenarios. We focus on risk management here. For instance, addressing the risk of long-term care needs with insurance or a self-insured buffer. Home equity is often a right-sized solution to address this. And ensuring your insurance coverage is up to date to manage unexpected medical or legal costs. The key is to have a liquid buffer asset, not just for market volatility, but for these spikes in risks, so the surprise expense doesn't require us to sell off a chunk of your core long-term investments and or generate a massive tax bill while doing so. The decumulation, or what I like to say, the utilization phase of life is a different animal than the accumulation phase. Let's say that in more plain English, right? Living off your hard-earned and built nest egg is profoundly different than what it took to build it up. It shifts from an investment problem to a cash flow and risk management problem. By understanding and planning for these 4 unique risks, sequence of returns, longevity, tax, and spiking expenses, you can launch your retirement with confidence, ensuring you're always ready for the unexpected. We thank author Peter New for this thoughtful retirement article. If you're interested in learning more, there's a link to the Advisor Perspective article in today's show notes that you'll find in our weekly newsletter, The Launch. You can sign up for The Launch at retirementisn'trocketscience.com. Now, let's head over to Mission Control to answer your financial and retirement questions.
Discovery Houston, 20 seconds to LOS TDRS.
Roger, nice to be in orbit.
This week's listener question regards Medicare Part D, which is prescription drug coverage. She writes, I'm turning 65 soon and getting ready to sign up for Medicare. Thankfully, I don't take any prescriptions at this time, so I'd like to skip Medicare Part D and not have to pay those premiums. Is there anything wrong with my plan? So here's the problem. You might not need medications today, but likely sometime between now and say the next 20 or 30 years, you're going to need them. And when you go to sign up for Medicare Part D, you're going to get hit with a big penalty in the form of a much higher Part D premium for the rest of your life. In case you're wondering, that penalty is a 1% increase in your premium for each month you delayed in signing up. So if you skip out on Part D at age 65 but pick it up 3 years or 36 months later, your Part D premium will be marked up 36% for the rest of your life. Not good. So here's what you might consider. Sign up for the lowest premium Part D plan that's offered in your area. Believe it or not, some of these can have a 0 premium. That way, you've checked the box of Medicare Part D and avoid a lifetime and not small financial penalty, but your prescription coverage cost is minimal, especially while your medications are low. If you've got a retirement question that you'd like us to answer on the show, head over to Retirement Isn't Rocket Science and click Ask a Question. Or even better, you can skip to the front of the line by calling Mission Control at 704-234-6550 and record an audio question. Again, that's 704-234-6550. Now let's broaden our perspective and explore a beautiful corner of our universe.
And Houston Discovery.
In Discovery Houston, we've got a good picture of Steve.
Welcome to the Retirement Big Picture part of our show. This is where we look up and look out to expand our appreciation and understanding of our amazing universe. Before I was a certified financial planner and retirement planning specialist, I spent almost 2 decades studying the cosmos as an observational astronomer. So this subject is near and dear to my heart and mind. Today's big picture is the Bullseye, a collisional ring galaxy formerly known as LEDA 1313424. Astronomers are very romantic when it comes to naming galaxies. Now, here are 3 cool facts about the Bullseye galaxy. First, the Bullseye holds the record for the most rings discovered in a single galaxy, with a total of 9 concentric rings of stars. Other known collisional ring galaxies typically only have 1 to 3 rings, making this galaxy an incredible, rare, and spectacular sight. The sheer number of rings is why astronomers aptly named it the Bullseye. Fact number 2, the Bullseye's striking appearance is the result of a rare, nearly perfect head-on collision that occurred just 50 million years ago. A much smaller blue dwarf galaxy shot straight through the middle of LEDA 1313 like a cosmic dart. This impact created massive shock waves in the gas and dust, causing them to ripple outward and trigger intense bursts of star formation that we see today as bright concentric rings. The dwarf galaxy is still visible today, located about 130 light years away from the Bullseye itself. And fact number 3, it's gigantic and confirms a long-standing theory. The Bullseye Galaxy is a colossal structure spanning approximately 250 light years in diameter, which is about 2.5 times the size of our own Milky Way galaxy. Furthermore, the way the rings are spaced out, clustered tight near the center and becoming more widely separated further out, almost perfectly confirms a long-established theoretical model for how these ring structures should form after a head-on galactic collision. This makes the Bullseye a crucial natural laboratory for studying galaxy evolution and even the distribution of dark matter.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful.
So I'll have to take it up for hangar, Joe?
We're going to dust it off first.
You'll find a stunning image of the Bullseye Galaxy, today's show notes, and today's featured retirement article in our weekly newsletter, The Launch. Sign up for The Launch at retirementisn'trocketscience.com. That's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, I'm Dr. Chris reminding you that your retirement doesn't have to be rocket science, but it can be as exciting as a moonshot. So aim high and, of course, plan well.
Mission complete, Houston. After serving the world for over 30 years, the space shuttle's earned its place in history and it's come to a final stop.
We copy your will stop, and we'll take this opportunity to congratulate you, Atlantis, as well as the thousands of passionate individuals across this great spacefaring nation.
We thank the National Aeronautics and Space Administration for providing the radio communication between the Space Shuttle astronauts and the flight controllers. This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not specific tax, legal, or investment advice. Before considering acting on anything you hear in this show, first consult your own tax, legal, or financial advisor.